This is happiness, to be everything at once. Be unblinded, be unlearned, be unbridled and unburned.
Hey guys, welcome back to a brand new episode of Mood Prep. My name is Dave Nixon. Today I'm going to go into a bit of a... I'm going to pull apart a bit of a conversation that I had today with a client around something being comfortable. It's interesting when... I'm actually going to go even further back to a conversation I had with a friend of mine many years ago. And I started my business and it was probably running for about a year and a half by this stage. And he worked in the public service in a pretty cushy job. Cushy, comfy, for those that don't know what cushy means. Pretty comfortable job, was earning decent money, and was doing the martial arts and had been doing the martial arts on the side for a long time. And we caught up for coffee and he's like, you know what, it's just like, I just have a really comfortable job and, you know, there's, I feel like going and doing that is a big risk. There's a lot of security with what I have. And I'd listened to him talk about this for a little while and I just went, look, mate, you don't strike me as a person who thinks security is letting other people determine how much you're worth per hour and when you're allowed to go on holidays. And he thought about that for a moment. And this is where I'm bringing up this conversation. I'm like, when we say we live comfortably, right? Like, what do we mean by that? Usually we're referring to money. We disregard our emotions. We actually fully fucking disregard our emotions, whether we're healthy or not. And we go, I've got a comfortable life. With a house and this, and, I've got my uni degrees or whatever it may be. And this is, I know there's a lot of people out there that have a similarity to this in some degree. They're like, I should be happy. It's like, but you're not fucking healthy. You've ticked external boxes, assuming that that's what's going to make you happy and also make you healthy. So now what you've gone and done is tie comfortability to things outside of who you are. And so this is how we form identities. It's like, you're not that, right? So you're not actually living comfortably. You're living extremely uncomfortably, right? You're not even living, actually, because you're not doing what your purpose is. You're not living something that actually makes you excited to do on some degree or makes time slow down. Now, here's a way to think about it. I don't know what I want to do. It's like, don't do what you enjoy. Do what is meaningful for you, right? Do what has purpose. And this is a big difference because it means that when tough times come, and they fucking will, they really fucking will, and they don't come to, like, put you down. They come to shell out the weak. The people that shouldn't be there, that no longer want to be there, right? But if there's meaning behind why you do what you do, you will stick through the hard times. This is what you need to understand. Put meaning behind or find meaning to what you do. And if you don't know what that is, think of the times when you're not looking at your phone. What are you doing when you're not interested in what other people are doing or you're looking at your phone, right? Seriously. Those are the times that you're usually in flow, that you're actually doing things that you genuinely enjoy. And they point to what you potentially should be doing with your life. People go, I can't make money that way. It's like, well, you're not having a living either way anyway. You earn money, you pay a fucking mortgage, you do all this other stuff, sure, but are you living? If you can't be connected with your emotion, then you're seriously not having a human experience. You have an intellectual experience, not a human experience. And this is a big fucking difference. It's just like, this is when you get to 40 and you're like, what the fuck have I done? And this is why I continually say, like doing the work is hard, but it's harder not to. It's so much harder not to. It's scary, but it's scarier not to, right? You got to look at the things that you do every single fucking day and go, okay, what can I do today that will let future me thank me for? Right? And it's not going and staying where you're comfortable. That's what it's fucking not. Hey, if something makes you feel funny and makes your heart beat a little bit and makes you nervous or something, it's probably telling you something, right? You have to figure out a way to break your status quo in a way that you feel comfortable and safe, that your growth is there, right? That where your growth is. And that's the thing, is that the quote, and I've said it recently, I do remember, that we don't grow in our comfort zones. We all kind of fucking know that. But here's what they mean. It's like, your potential lays in what's uncomfortable, right? Understanding unconditional happiness lays where you're uncomfortable initially, because you're only uncomfortable there for a little while. And then you keep pushing and it expands and you get further and further. And this is how we grow, because we're literally growing and expanding our awareness of what's going on. The whole, like, when everything slows down and when everything kind of just flows and you're in that sort of state, what's happening is that you're taking in all the senses. You're not in your head. You're not just visually looking. You're not just intellectually looking at the situation from an engineering background or from an accounting background or from, whatever background it is. All of you as the human being that you are is literally fucking there in the moment. And that way you're able to experience it. And that's what living is. Everything else is thinking. Thinking isn't living. It doesn't mean we shouldn't think. Clearly there's an element of it. Right? It's like saying steering is driving. No, you still have to put fuel in. You still have to actually put your foot down on the accelerator. You have to look after the car. Steering is just a part of it. Thinking is just a part of it. And if we think our emotions away, then we're going to have some trouble later on. And once again, yes, it fucking comes back to this. If you're thinking your emotions away and justifying them away, how the fuck are you meant to teach your children? Think of the advice that you give yourself on the down low, right? Oh, it's fine. Just figure it out later on, or that's not really that important. And think about if you'd advise the next generation. You go to a preschool or primary school and tell those kids there, your children, your nephews. I always bring up the next generation, right? Because we look at them as these innocent souls, and we think about the things that make us feel uncomfortable, that hurt us long term, that we say to ourselves, that we lie. Because the lies, they just feel that saying that I'm the best in the world and saying I'm the worst piece of shit there ever lived, both are fucking lies, right? Positive self-talk, but it's a fucking lie. It doesn't mean that I shouldn't have more of an optimistic outlook on life, right? Back myself and trust myself. But if I'm going to say I'm the best there ever was, at the same time I'm lying. This is the honest self-authority that we can build and develop to be able to trust ourselves to move through reality as it occurs. And that's fucking different, right? It's a big difference. And it means that when you speak to somebody else, you're not speaking as the human that you are, standing 5'9" or, blonde hair, or you're speaking from that soul, from that self. This vehicle is just a vehicle. And that means that every single person you speak to, whether they're 6'4", 6'2", 5'8", 5'3", however they look, you're not speaking to that body. You're speaking to the human that's inside it. This is so crucial, right? So when you think about, oh, my life is really comfortable, I'm like, okay, tell me what that feels like. And if you can't name a fucking feeling, you go into your brain and start thinking, you're not living comfortably. What you're doing is that you're lying to yourself and you're shelling your emotions to the side. And you're putting too much value on things, right? I'll leave it with this quote, is that we're at a stage in our existence where it's time to go back. Time to go back and stop loving things and using people and start using things and loving people. And you need to start with yourself. Team, I'm out. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you found this podcast beneficial, it would mean the world to me if you would pass it on to someone else that you think would also find it beneficial. And as always, if you haven't already, jump on facebook.com or whatever just jump on Facebook. You use the app. I don't care. Search Mood Prep Online, and that's kind of it. I'm done. Until tomorrow, peace and pizza. Kick today in the dick. Slay the dragon. I'll see you soon.
To be everything at once, be unblinded, be unlearned, be unbridled and unburned.